Hello guys, and first thing I want to point out is I've reached 50 subscribers, which I'm really happy about. Over 10,000 video views as well. It's pretty far. I've been on YouTube for about a year and 2 months now. And I've came in pretty far away from my first video. Um, if you was here during the early days, like maybe within the first quarter to half year of me recording, I didn't have the microphone as I do now, which I'm super happy to have with Bandicam and all. But the name of this video is Base Guides. Now, I'm just gonna talk about some places to build a base in Unturned. Some good places, some decent places, and just some downright dumb places to build a base. First, let's start with the pretty much the stupidest place to put a base, the castle. It literally has about no food, no water, and it just spawns weapons. I mean, you could probably put a few chests up there and get a few assault rifles and weapons, maybe a few attachments. But really, as a base to survive, I don't really think it's worth going through all that work, because to get to the town, which you need for the base building resources, it's going to take you minutes to do so. Now I have found a car that was drivable up there at the castle, so it could cut down your time, but I did some testing and I drove a normal orange car as far to the castle as I could. I got a little under quarter way to the castle once you reach the snow biome area. Then I hit half fuel, and note I drove this car from the grocery store all the way to as far as I could. I was about three-quarters of the way there, and I used half my gas. And I needed the other half to get back to town because I sure as heck didn't feel like running. And I would suggest probably getting a truck, or better if you're going to drive up there, because the car really just does not have the power to go up the hill. It's going to take you a long time to do that, unless you want to waste more gas just sitting there. The next place for a bad base would be the port. That's really, I've only gone there once, and that was pretty much the worst loot run I ever had. I found a little bit of building material, and that was it. I literally just wasted my time. I think I found like one wire, one board, and one bolt. That was about it. Maybe a chem light, I'm not sure. But I would suggest a good place for a base is at the crossroads. If you really want to get the max out of a base, the crossroads is pretty much perfect. You have about, it's about the quickest way to get in between the two main towns and the port, if you actually want to spend time getting to the port. But with cars now, the port is a bit of a viable option, I guess. If I had to suggest one town, then I would suggest the one with the police department, the hospital, and all, for obvious reasons. Because I've gotten a lot more material there, and the police department can be made into a literal stronghold, honestly. You can make a fortress out of that thing, and it's just perfect. So I'd suggest building there. The place for a decent base, I guess, you probably could build at the military checkpoint out from the city. It takes some time to get to the city for the resources needed, but you would have a pretty ample supply of weapons and ammo and possibly attachments. Some places I recommend you avoid are the farm, evac until you can get properly prepared to loot it, and the airport. Now, the airport is a decent place for weapons. I've gone to the AC-130, I guess, or the airplane, and I have been able to find some decent weapons. I've even found 2 pairs of night vision there. That's the only place I've seen night vision spawn anyways. Um, Evac because, well, it's irradiated and it's really, if you build a base in it, you're just asking to die. Not to mention the amount of zombies. Next would be the farm because there's such a huge lack of resources. I've found the only crafting I've found there would be cloth and sticks. That is literally the only crafting items I've ever found there. I have found the Lee Enfield and the hammer, so it's not terrible place to get. Maybe a weapon in a PvP server, I guess. But don't really rely on it for a weapon. Maybe as a last ditch effort for a weapon, or maybe some ammo for a gun, such as like the Lee Enfield, maybe, or crossbow. Then you could probably take a risk. But I suggest just staying away since it's kind of useless. um, I saw the update and apparently people say it's lags a lot. So if it does lag for me, I'm probably gonna stop playing. Since the reason I loved Unturned so much is because of its low lag for my horrible laptop. But we'll just see what happens in the future. Even if I don't play Unturned, I'm still going to try and come up with ideas. Try and watch some videos and just put my input into the game and say where I think is the best place to go. But I'd say my looting guide as well. I've been asked this a few times. How do I loot Unturned? First, I spawn in on top of the police station where my base is. I go down to the police car. Like, I would just walk off the roof, take my handgun, fire one shot into the air. All the zombies start running towards me. I walk. Like I'm walking towards the military checkpoint. I go past the post office, start leaving the city, turn around, and just start shooting zombies one by one with my handgun. And I would suggest carrying 1 to 2 extra mags and make sure your gun is fully loaded before you do this, just to make sure you don't get killed. After that, I walk to the post office, I loot it, then I'll loot the blue semi-truck, walk over to the grocery store, take what I want from it, go inside the police department, take whatever I want from it, then the police car, then I move on to the houses on the other side of the city, and then I move to the house next to the orange car, and I move down to the house a little bit past the blue truck, and I go across the street. Head down to the other house across from the fire station, then the fire station, the garage, go all the way back to my little base on top of the police department, and store my stuff. And that is how I loot the city I live in. It's very effective. I mean, I could probably do it faster if I tried, but that's just how I loot it, and turns out pretty well, it seems. So, I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.